The village of Amani rested peacefully under the warm West African sun. Bright green palm trees swayed gently in the soft breeze. Their leaves seemed to whisper secrets to the wind. Birds sang beautiful songs all around. The sweet smell of hibiscus and frangipani filled the air. The land, rich and good, grew lots of food. Laughter could be heard everywhere in the village, showing how happy and content everyone in Amani was. Days started with the sunrise, painting the sky with gold and red. Villagers greeted each other warmly, their voices sounding like the music of their ancestors. Children, laughing as brightly as the sun, chased butterflies in the fields. Their little feet stirred up dust on the paths, leaving trails of happiness wherever they went. Mothers, with love shining in their eyes, took care of their families. They cooked meals over open fires, making the air smell of delicious spices. The center of the village was the old baobab tree. Its huge trunk, twisted with age, seemed to hold hundreds of years of stories. It had silently watched many seasons of life, death, and new life. Under its wide branches, villagers got together to tell stories, sing songs, and celebrate their history. The baobab was more than just a tree. It was the heart of Amani, a symbol of their strong spirit. Life in Amani was simple, but very beautiful. It was like a blanket woven with love, laughter, and a deep connection to the land. The villagers, not knowing about the bad things coming, lived in a world where happiness was as bright as the African sun. AKU, a happy, bright child, was the spirit of Amani. Her laughter, as clear as the village stream, made everyone else laugh too. Her big, bright smile could light up even the darkest night. With eyes that sparkled with fun and curiosity, AKU loved to explore. The forest, with its hidden trails and rustling trees, was her favorite place. She knew the names of all the birds, from the tiny ones that flew among the flowers to the big eagles that soared high above. The forest was her place to play, and its secrets were her treasures. Aku's days were full of simple, happy things. She spent hours chasing butterflies with her friends, their laughter echoing through the trees. She listened carefully to the elders' stories, her imagination filled with brave warriors and magical creatures. Evenings were special in Amani. As the sun went down, making long shadows, families gathered around warm fires. The air smelled of roasting yams, and drums played rhythmic beats. AKU would sit next to her grandmother, feeling warm and happy by the fire and her grandmother's voice. Aku's life, like her village, showed the power of love, laughter, and the strong connections of family and community. The peace of Amani was broken on a day that started like any other. The sun rose, making the sky orange and pink. Birds sang their happy songs. The air smelled sweet with hibiscus flowers, but the quiet was a trick, hiding the trouble that was coming. Strangers came to the village, their faces hidden under big hats. They rode horses, stirring up a cloud of dust that made it hard to breathe. Fear, sudden and cold, filled everyone's hearts. The strangers, with their mean eyes and harsh voices, were unlike anyone they had ever seen. Panic spread through Amani quickly. Mothers grabbed their children, holding them close as if to protect them from danger. Men grabbed their farming tools, their only weapons against this unknown threat. The air, once full of laughter and song, now smelled of fear. The villagers' worst fears came true. The strangers were slave traders, with hearts as cold as the chains they carried. They attacked Amani, their greed stronger than any kindness they might have had. They tore families apart, their cruel laughter echoing through the village like screams. The peaceful village of Amani became a place of terrible chaos and sadness. The ground was red with blood, the air was filled with the cries of mothers separated from their children, and the heartbroken pleas of husbands taken from their wives. Amani, once a paradise, had become a living hell. Aku's world changed in an instant. One moment she was laughing with her friends, chasing butterflies, and the next, her life was gone. The slave traders, with their cruel eyes and no mercy, attacked Amani, tearing apart everything she knew. She watched in horror as her father, his eyes full of defiance, was hit and fell to the ground like a dead tree. Her mother, her face full of terror, tried to protect AKU and her siblings, but it was no use. The slave traders, driven by greed and a thirst for power, didn't care. AKU was pulled away from her mother's arms, her screams lost in the noise and sadness. She was tied up, the ropes hurting her wrists and ankles, her spirit broken but not gone. She was forced to walk, her bare feet bleeding on the hard ground, her captors pushing her with whips and insults. As the sun went down, making long, scary shadows, AKU saw the true horror of what was happening. Hundreds of her people, their faces full of fear and sadness, were herded like animals, their futures stolen. The slave traders, their laughter echoing in the night, had turned Amani from a paradise into a prison, a place of terrible suffering and loss.